And hello and welcome everybody. We are back here for our last game of the round of 8 here for the Oceanic Season 3 online qualifiers here for said championships that will be at PAX Australia next week, of course. And we've got 3 teams through so far, of course, and we've got one last best of 3 here between Daizy Parade and FIGJAM to determine our 4th and final team that gets to go to PAX and guarantee themselves at least $5,000 and, of course, a shot at the big prize, and not to mention a free trip to Germany for Gamescom as well. My name is FIGJAM here, and joining me for our last game of the round of 8 here is, of course, it's Papa Smithy. How you doing, Papa?
That's me. I'm feeling great, Patreon. Last game was kind of the first big story of this tournament because it was the first non-sponsored team getting through. Obviously, Hot Soggy Decimate, veterans of many sponsored teams, but they were just a pickup team. They only, came together as a team. I think when we had an interview with Hot Soggy Noodles, Dale, just about the Thursday before qualifiers, which
yes,
now they're sitting on $5,000 guaranteed and potentially going to Gamescom, which is rags to riches, based time. That's amazing stuff. And this game, very similar. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, just to recap the teams that are through, of course, we've got Immunity and X5 Eclipse. They qualified yesterday here. We've got the brackets on the screen there.
Two monsters of Australian League of Legends.
Absolutely. And, speaking of big organizations, you mentioned those are the 2 that are through. So X5 and Immunity will have their teams representing them, of course. And over on the other side here, we can see Hot Soggy Decimate went through. They're taking out Avant-Garde Fear, one of the orgs left there with a team representing them. And, of course, our last game here, 2, again, pick up kind of unknown teams. We've got some players that we do know there, but it's Daizy Parade versus FIGJAM, which is our last best of 3 here tonight.
And I guess in terms of momentum and in terms of big accomplishments this tournament, you can't go past Daizy Parade. I mean, they took out the first seeds. They took out Frenetic Array Yuma, which was a massive win in a best-of-1 situation. And, I mean, Frenetic Array Yuma in other tournaments today actually took out Team Immunity, who we saw do so fantastically well yesterday. So quite a big achievement from them. They have members who have been around the competitive scene. I know Liquid Cheese and Intrepid, of course, used to be on Team Carnage way back in the day. But they've been playing really, really well as a team. And that's not to discount FIGJAM at all.
Yeah, Nick, you see there the players there for both sides. Daizy Parade, they're the blue side here for Game 1 as we start with this best of 3. Intrepid, they're in the top, and Liquid Cheese, they're in the mid. Those 2 friends, they've been playing together for quite a while there, as you said, all the way back on Carnage, who, by the way, almost beat another team that has been through there. They beat Immunity in their first ever tournament, almost went through to actually win the full tournament. They actually knocked Immunity down to losers, and they had to fight all the way back up there. So it was a very impressive debut for them, and now they're back together on a team here with the rub-up in the jungle.
You can do it. You can do it, Patient Time. We talked about this before the cast.
Nephthesis?
Nephthesis. No, Nephtheus.
Oh, no.
There's no second S. This guy.
Nephtheus?
Nephtheus.
All right, sure. Sweet. He actually told us how to pronounce his name as well, so that's all good. But we'll get there. It's okay. I'm sure I'll be corrected once more during the cast. And Shazam, of course, they're on support as well. So looks strong so far. Been playing a lot of the Liquid Cheese standards. I mean, he's playing basically Anivia. He's a very well-known Swain player as well, so definitely expect that band to come through here. And just in general, have I done really well with very traditional-looking team comps, actually. They've got kind of very rounded, Intrepid always likes to play big, tanky champions up on the top that, he can push lane with and sustain. They've gone for the split push, but they have good team fight as well. They've just been playing really solid, really kind of almost Season 2-esque League of Legends.
And I guess the one question that we don't have the answer to right yet, but maybe answer this series, will we finally see the return of the competitive scene Swain?
I hope so. I mean, as I said, it's probably going to be banned here in this series, but we'll have to find out there. Cheese, I don't think he's gotten to play it pretty much since the round of 16, since teams knew who he was and banned out that Swain. And of course, on the other side here for FIGJAM, we've got Riolu up in the top lane there, Bluery90 in the jungle, Trashboat, who has played absolutely amazingly in their top 16 match with that Carthus there in their second game. Blue90 there on AD carry, and Cocaine, last but not least, there on support. And this is a team that we don't know too much about, but I mean, given how far they've gotten this tournament, given how well they've been playing, very, very scary as well.
And whenever we've seen them, they've impressed. They've looked like a really well-oiled team. None of these names stick out to me as veterans of the scene or people that are particularly well-known, but team fighting and team play has been top-notch.
Absolutely, and kind of funny, much like Hot Soggy Decimate, another team that got together very, very quickly before this tournament. So, it's nice to see teams that, aren't part of established teams that have been around for a while making it through. But, of course, only one of these 2 teams can make it through. So we will get the next game started here. Game 1's going to be here. It's going to be FIGJAM up against Daizy Parade. In fact, they've already started here as we are through in the Champs League. We've got Rumble, Luck, and Tristana, the bands out there for Daizy Parade. They're on the left here on the blue side to start things off. And over on the right, FIGJAM going to Swain, Anivia, and Elise. Liquid Cheese, welcome to Bantown.
Absolutely, and Swain and Anivia have been the 2 big champions for Liquid Cheese during this tournament. Anivia especially has shown some fantastic Anivia mechanics this tournament. That's the champion he helped to take down Frenetic Array, so 2 respect bans for the mid laner.
Yeah, and the Jarvan ban actually here as well. Sorry, the Jarvan pickup, excuse me. I think Rubber's been playing quite a bit of Jarvan in their game, so it's going to be pretty happy to pick up that jungle first and foremost.
Yeah, and I think Elise was probably the champion who Rabub showed the most on. Just amazing Elise mechanics. And we've seen some fantastic Elise play this tournament, so it's a lot to say, but an Elise target ban, a smart one there.
Yeah, and actually 3 target bans over on the Daizy Parade side as well. Rumble Lux has been the bread and butter for the FIGJAM guys. We've seen Riolu's Rumble dominate people and Trash Boat's Lux, and in tandem with all that kite, with all that CC and poke, they've just done so many good things here in Teamfight. And of course, Tristana, very much a targeted ban at Blue90, who is an amazing Tristana player. So we're going to have to see something different here, and we're going to start with Orianna and Zyra from FIGJAM.
Yeah, and look, Orianna is the start of any team comp. We've seen amazing lane presence out of Orianna, and we all know that the ball and, of course, that command shockwave can just decimate team fights.
And now we've got picks 2 and 3 coming through as well for Daizy Parade. I mean, it's interesting, as we said, as we get kind of down, to the top 8, to the top 16, teams start to know each other a little bit better, and it's a lot easier to do stuff like target ban. We saw, in fact, in the last game entirely, there were 6 bans that we didn't really expect in the last series. And here again, I mean, Elise is one of the few champions we've seen a lot of that we'd say kind of merits a standard ban, but no Jace ban, no Cannon ban. I mean, these two teams clearly know who they're up against here.
Yeah, a lot of flavor to these bans. I mean, if you look down the 6 bans here, I mean, you'd see probably an Elise ban or first pick in other scenes, but the rest of the champions, quintessentially Oceanic, quintessentially just these 2 teams.
Yeah, and going with another thing that Daizy Parade like to be doing here, they picked up Vayne Janna there as their dual lane, so Nepthesis loves that Vayne. He's been playing it to a great effect, and of course Janna, a great support for protecting such a hyper carry as well.
It's a risky lane to take into a 2v2 lane down bottom lane though, pastry time. It's the sort of thing where, if the enemy picks, a Caitlyn, for example, to go with this Zyra, you can potentially get destroyed as Vayne. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a lane switch up here unless, a lot of confidence comes out of the Daizy Parade bot lane.
They do pick up Nasus here, actually, presumably as their jungler, and Twitch gets locked in here as well. That's another Blue90 special. He loves to play Twitch.
And Twitch, I mean, he does damage from such great range that if the initiation combo of Nasus potentially with the Orianna ball on top comes off, I mean, Twitch can assassinate people from screens away almost.
Yes, he in fact has the highest range of any AD carry in the game, which is
only during the rain.
Only during spray and pray, yes, only during spray and pray. But it's still a cool stat. In fact, 100 above, I think, anyone else. So yeah, Twitch can be quite the menace if he gets going. And as I said, Blue90 loves to play that champion as well. And down here we see a Gragas actually being moused over here as well. Have not seen Gragas in a while, but would love to see him now. I do love me a Gragas, but we'll have to see if that's what they want to go for. Of course, 4th and 5th pick now coming out for Daizy Parade. And as I said, both these teams going to be a little out of their comfort zone. I mean, you see a couple of comfort picks here for the ADs with both Vayne and Twitch being picked up, but both teams kind of had their regular strategies hampered here with the bans, and so very curious to see what they're going to go with. Of course, Intrepid's going to get Shen, and they're going to go with Diana there as well.
And you say, of course, that Intrepid just a very known tank player. It's usually the Shen or the Cho'Gath top, almost the hotshot GG kind of trademark champions are up there. They're really tanky men who, they don't do a lot of damage, but they can really contribute to a strong team fight. Yeah. We were wondering about the 3rd string to the Liquid Cheese bow. We've seen the Anivia. We know about the Swain. Apparently it's the Diana this time. Yep,
it is going to be Diana, all things considered. And, we'll see how that goes, of course. Have not seen him play it yet in this tournament so far. But Intrepid Shen, as you noted, he's just a great tank player. And he loves to split push as well, much like Hotshot used to love to do, just never wanted to leave that top lane. Intrepid definitely takes a lot of that away with him. And the last pick here, of course, over on the other side is actually Rise here for, it looks like...
Top lane Rise?
Riolu, yeah.
I mean, top lane Rise obviously saw a big renaissance during the OGN Winter Tournament. It's kind of fallen out of favor recently, but I mean, Shen can't really do much against Rise. Rise has that 650 range on his Q, the 625 range on his W. Basically, Shen just needs to eat free damage, try to stay in lane as long as possible. I mean, he does have the taunt, so potentially in a 2v1 situation with a gank from Nasus, they can pick something up, but laning phase is going to be a real pain for Intrepid.
It is, and one of the nicest things about top lane Rise is that when you get going, I mean, Rise is such a great champion having a team once you get towards the mid game, get towards the late game. If Rise can get farm and get going, it's just craziness, and you kind of free up your mid slot for someone else. And in here, we've got Orianna coming up for FIGJAM, so all that team fight control, the team fight general, who's just so good at controlling space and conducting a fight, topped with the Rise AoE damage. I mean, this is scary, scary double AP stuff here from FIGJAM.
But the one thing I'll say here, it's the one thing that Monte Cristo talks about in his cast, is that when you pick that top lane Rise, you want to pick it with a strong jungler, a strong ganking jungler like the Lee Sin jungle, just because obviously Rise, he's likely to overextend to do damage. He wants to be at the enemy's turret so he can alternate between free hitting and last hitting. he's very, very gankable, is something that's fair to say. So the Nasus jungle doesn't really provide that pressure of the Lee Sin, and they're against a Jarvan jungle. So I think Rabub, if he really tunnels on top lane, can get a lot of work done.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we saw Nasus last game, actually, in the last series there, doing really, really good things for Hot Soggy Decimate, but as you noted, not exactly the best thing in terms of ganking. And, it worked well in their poke comp, but here, with the double AP, they're going to want to look for more classic initiation, really get involved. And, yeah, that pressure early on could be a problem here for FIGJAM, but we'll have to see how Blue 90 plays it.
It suits the comp, like the Nasus Shred with potentially, Twitch taking advantage of that from screens away can be massive.
Spell Flux as well from Rise.
But it's a lot of pressure on Riolu to be really, maybe put down 2 wards instead of the standard 1 and just, play smart because he doesn't have a lot of help coming from the jungle.
Yeah, I mean, I like a lot of what's going on here. I think Zara's a nice pick with Cinco. Kane played this quite a few times, actually, and I like the setup it can potentially have here in this comp. There's a lot going on AoE-wise. I think Blue 90, actually, the one thing I did want to say is traditionally played very aggressively when we've seen him play in the jungle. I mean, you mentioned his Elise Papa. He loves to play Elise. He's a very good Elise player, but I don't know. We'll see if we can get it done with Nasus. It's kind of an interesting pick. They picked it up pretty early here as well, but we'll see what they can get done with it, of course. Funnily enough, I think he's also quite a big Jarvan player, so not only is Robert getting a Jarvan that he likes, he's also an aggressive jungler, but kind of stealing that pick away there as well from Bluey.
And I guess the last interesting thing here that's unique to this game is the Summoner Heal is picked up on Janna.
And this is something that we've seen, actually, that you commented on for one particular reason, that 1 point in the defensive mastery.
Yeah, people talk about, when you're a support, obviously you have to be careful with your gold. You have to buy gold-efficient items. The Summoner Heal mastery point, I believe, is just the defense tree, the 1 mastery point for your summoner spells gives you 5 health per level, which adds up, obviously, to 80 health at level 18. So 90 health at level 18. And that's massive for a support to get, effectively, 235 gold or so worth of free stats just from 1 mastery point. It's very effective. It's a very good choice, and it gives them so much.
Yeah, I mean, heal's also not bad in bottom lane either.
Sure.
It can help protect your AD, probably give you a bit of extra effective health in there as well. So it's nice, and it's something that I think you said X Special was talking about in terms of this mastery point's actually pretty good. I mean, it's 1 point in 1 spell. It's pretty cost efficient.
It doesn't give them ignite, for the lane control, and kind of a dangerous lane if they do end up going 2v2, but look, it's still something that will help the team in a team fight.
Yeah, I think given how Daizy Parade seem to like to play with the hyper carrying, with a support like Janna who's very late game oriented, I think it just makes sense, that you want something that's robust and that is just a more defensive option, I guess.
So we're just loading into game here slowly.
Eventually we'll get there. Hopefully nothing crazy happens, but I imagine we'll all be good here for game 1. So you see the very shiny loading screen here. And as we said, it's going to be Daizy Parade to start things off on the blue side here for this game, of course, being the winners of their bracket, I believe, for top 16 is how it worked. So they're able to start on the blue side here. And, of course, on the right is FIGJAM. But, I mean, it's a best of 3 players. The teams will swap sides. Sides don't matter as much as they used to, Papa, it seems like, now that the golems all spawn in line with everything else. But, there's still definitely advantage to be taken on either side here. And we said last series was going to be close. We saw the 2-0 there for Hot Soggy Decimate at the end. This is going to be very, very close. I think this is the hardest top 8 match to call, actually.
Absolutely. And I wouldn't even be drawn to choose a side based your time just because we've seen both these teams play super well. I mean, Daizy Parade's picked up a big scalps. FIGJAM's look solid. I think game 1 will tell us a lot about how this series will turn out.
Yeah, and no matter what happens, we're going to have 1 amazing team left here through to the PAX tournament, of course. We've already got 3 teams qualified. We've got 1 best of 3 here to determine a guaranteed 5K, the ticket to the PAX tournament, and potentially a whole lot more as well for one of these teams. So we are loaded into game 1 now. On the left to kick things off, it is, of course, Daizy Parade. And on the right there, on the red side, are going to be the members of FIGJAM. So just to run through for you all, it's Intrepid here up in the top lane. On the Shen, we've got Liquid Cheese there in the mid on Diana this time around. No interview, of course, because it was banned out. We're going to have Shazam there on the Janna, Rubub on Jarvan, and Nepthesis, and that's going to trauma the entire cast, isn't it? On Vayne there, the AD carry.
It's worth noting here, we see Shen has picked up the cloth armor start. It seems like Shen is gunning for a 1v2 lane. That seems to be what they want here.
Yeah, it looks like it is. You see the teams move out. I mean, you mentioned that the Rise matchup not exactly great here for Shen, so probably pretty happy to have that 1v2 if he gets it. And Intrepid could walk a little too far forward. Riolu, that I think, has room prison. Yes, he does there. Ready to go. So they definitely want to get aggressive here and try and pick somebody off early on. But it looks like they've been spotted off and they'll probably have to back away now.
So I imagine that Shen, he does have the summoner teleport here. He's not looking for a duel in lane whatsoever. But it's important. Rise has the teleport too. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of lane swapping here because they've got a weak 2v2 lane in Vayne Janna. And, a very has a lot of potential to 1v2 with Shen. Rise he can handle a 1v2 if he can get last hits in, but it's not ideal. He wants to go heads up here, and I imagine Daizy Parade are going to do everything they can to swap around to make sure that doesn't happen.
Very sneaky there. Robbo actually going to go ahead and check that bush. There is a ward in it. Shazam's going to go in there and ward it as well. He just wanted to make sure they weren't getting camped there in that brush. And, you know, just defensively warding up, you want to make sure their jungle starts off nicely. Looks like they are going to have two top heroes. Shazam and Nepthesis rotate there towards that blue buff. And looks like they're going to get the swap they want, at least to start things off. Intrepid walking down here as well. And I want to ask you, Papa, I actually clicked on Riolo here, noticed something interesting. He has a Sapphire Crystal in his inventory.
Sapphire Crystal start on Rise is one of the things that's made Rise so strong in those 1v1 top lanes, just because you can open that way with probably the 21 utility, which you can probably guess from the Biscuit and the Explorer Ward here. And your trades are crazy. At level 2, for example, your Q is already doing about 99 base damage. You know, with just normal armor, magic resist yellows and blues, and you can just win a trade at level 2 that the sort of burst damage that you don't expect from a Rise before he has, you know, his full item build. It has a lot of strength, but it looks like that, at least at the start of the game, he's going to get the lane he wants. It looks like he'll be laning against Chen.
Yep, so the swap's successfully made. There are 4 in the top and 2 in the bottom lane here. I think Riolo actually has not quite 29 points. He obviously has the Explorer ward there. You can see the Biscuit in there as well. Throws down that ward. Wants to make sure nothing crazy is happening. And I think he has Wanderer in the utility tree, but not Swiftness. So he's not all the way in, but probably some, you know, 13 points or so in there. And, you know, getting a lot of what he wants there from the tree, especially if he wants to go the Sapphire Crystal. Usually
you see the 21 just because by the time you get the 6% CDR to combine with the 4% CDR from the offense tree, you know, you're so close to the 21st point, you might as well get it. But if there's a higher priority mastery for him, he's gone for that instead.
Yeah, and looks like Jarvan here going to try to gank things up. Robbo wants on Trash, but there's a knock up there as well. Liquid Cheese going nice and aggressive here early on. Think we're going to have to force a flash here for Orianna. No, not quite. Just walks away there slowly. Good presence there from Trashbro just to realize that, hey, you know, this isn't good, but I don't have to blow my flash here. So a nice bit of pressure there from Robbo, but nothing he really wanted. Just a little bit of damage there for Liquid Cheese in lane.
It was smart play from Trashbro there. I mean, it was one of those cases where if Liquid Cheese decided to flash onto him, he would have counter-flashed, but he took the bet that that wouldn't happen and keeps his flash off it.
Yep, no Ignite used that either for Liquid Cheese, so just a bit of pressure early on to help the lane out. Kind of interesting here, Orianna versus Diana. Orianna, of course, very good with those auto-attack harasses with that Clockwork wind-up passive, so Diana being reasonably melee is probably going to have a bit of trouble early on, but, I mean, Orianna has to be very careful once Diana hits level 6, because all that burst and that gap closer can really shred her health down.
And that's definitely what Skara when she commented on this matchup, because in previous batches it was a very common matchup, as we see Jarvan again looking around the mid lane. He commented that, you know, in the early levels, obviously the passive is something that you can abuse as Orianna and get that increasing wind-up damage onto the melee Liquid Cheese, but as you point out, at level 6, kill potential goes through the roof.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Robbo, they're coming back again on Jarvan, actually sat on top of a ward there, so that one was scoped out that time. Not going to be a gank there for Orianna, and Trashbro just going to happily try and farm here up against Diana there in the mid lane. So top lane here, I mean, we mentioned that, you know, we're going to probably have lane swaps, so we have had both swaps made here now, so it's 4 champions in the top lane. I mean, I guess this is just kind of like normal, except champions are in slightly different positions here. As Blurry 90's now going to come down and maybe try and gank up Intrepid, but I think he knows what's going on and doesn't really want to fight Rise 1v1 anyway, so Blurry 90 are going to come all the way around for the wraparound, and this could be bad news here for Intrepid. He's probably going to get caught up by this Nasus Riolu. Looking for the prison. They don't have vision though in the bush. Good flash taunt away from Intrepid. Very, very nice play, knowing that that was basically the only way to get away from that cleanly, and, you know, uses a lot of cooldowns, has to use that flash, but at least he's not dead.
I think if he had followed Trashbird's example and tried to hold on to a cooldown there, he could have just straight taunted through and gotten through and saved his flash, but the safer choice pulled out by Intrepid.
Yep, there in the top lane we see a trade come out there. So Cocaine taking a lot of damage there from minions actually, with Vayne actually condemning Twitch away there as he went in for the Venom cast. He landed that, tried to get a few extra orders in, and Vayne said, nope, not going to happen, going to condemn you away. And that trade actually worked really nicely there with Zara tanking so many minion hits. So some good play up here in the top. I mean, clearly, even with a little weaker lane, they're playing quite well here, and this is definitely a lane that Daizy Parade practice on here. They love to play Vayne Janna.
But it is worth pointing out that because they're ahead in CS, and 7 CS actually at this point is quite massive. Even that was...
he checks it, he gets knocked up in there as well. The Howling Gale will hit there after the flash. That's not good news. Condemning to the wall, and that should be first blood there for Vayne. Great play out there from Daizy Parade.
And if they're able to win this lane straight up with the jungle pressure and everything...
Oh, Blue 90 is going for it. The true damage poison's going to be close. Blue 9-0 knocked up. He does pick up the kill there onto Vayne. They're going to turn it around now as Nasus comes through in the top as well. Rubub in trouble here as Twitch comes in, and this is great news here for the Rat. He wants to try and get the kills if he can. Rubub's going in. The expunge is going to be enough there as the poison ticks out. Double teleport coming in now as well. Intrepid wants to try and get a piece of it, but Riola's up in here as well. There's the damage coming through. Oriana's rotated top as well, and it's bad news bears everywhere right now as Daizy Parade get the real raw end of that stick.
And ironically, the double teleport was a big moot point, but Twitch is the big winner from that trade pastry time.
And how many games do you get to say double teleport, Papa Smithy?
Not very many.
That was good times. But I mean, a nice gank there from Rubber. Just really, really smart play there overall. And I think a bit of overextension there from Daizy Parade. FIGJAM knew what happened. You know, Vayne got 1 kill, but Twitch got 2 there, Papa, and he didn't die either.
And now we have a BF sword versus Bilgewater Cutlass situation, which isn't the worst for Vayne. You know, it could be worse. It could be a smaller pickup, but I mean, those expunges and that trade damage with Twitch is going to be way in Twitch's advantage.
Yeah, I mean, if they weren't happy about the lane before, I mean, they were playing it nicely, and again, they do love this lane. They seem to play it a lot as Riolu comes in the mid here. Just going to say hi to Liquid Cheese. But Liquid Cheese wants to go in, rub up there, looking for the knockup as well, just misses onto Riolu, who flashes out of the way, but Diana now very much altering that rise, and that's an easy kill there for Diana, who's just got to get out of this one. Now Trashboat looking to make it happen, but not level 6 here for Oriana, and I guess Trashboat, that roam the top lane actually cost him the experience that might have gotten him the kill there onto Diana.
And now Shen will get level 6 pretty much unimpeded here. Have that global pressure up, and of course, the Rise teleport is a long way off cooldown.
Blurry 90 fighting Rubber in the jungle as well. There's Stand United getting used. Liquid Trees looks pretty fine. Trashbot, he wants to go in, but the ult is up for Oriana now. He's got to be careful. Good play there. Knocks him back in as well, and a good Howling Gale to come in and finish that one off. Very, very smartly played there by Liquid Cheese. And Blurry 90 lucky to get away from Shen there after he Stand United as well. And nice 1-0 there as well as Diana picks up, I think, yes, 2 kills now for Liquid Cheese.
And Trashboat's Shockwave fizzled there as he took killing damage. I don't think it would have picked up a kill, but regardless.
Yeah, just nothing quite going right there. Diana very intelligently leading Oriana into that brush there, revealing off there with the Q, and then diving in there knowing he could get the kill. And even tried to play around the ball as well by timing his ultimates in kind of interesting ways. And very nice cleanup there. Knew his team was around as well. Knew Janna could protect him if he needed to. And now it's a blue buff Diana, level 7, double Doran's ring, and probably a big stack of gold for him to spend here as well.
And he's gotten through that theoretical weaker phase for Diana in that Oriana matchup with the 2 kills. Hard to see how Liquid Cheese won't take the ascendancy in this lane now.
Yeah, and that's probably bad news for top lane here as well, because if he starts roaming and pushing Oriana in, then roaming towards the top here in this 2v2 lane, then that could definitely make the difference here for Vayne Janna. I mean, you know, they're playing it smart. Vayne's just trying to CS here. In fact, still has the lead on Twitch in terms of CS, so maybe a little bit too much aggression here for Blue 9-0, but Vayne doesn't really want to go near this BS or Twitch, and with good reason. It's very, very scary here.
It's a very interesting pickup here. I mean, obviously, the Blasting Wand and the Amplifying Tome gives him quick AP, but in this situation, we usually see the Negatron first into the Abyssal Scepter, which this game would be very much warranted against a double AP comp. Be interested to see if he's going for something different. Maybe a Lich Bane, maybe a Rylai's. Kind of hard to say. Yeah,
maybe. I mean, he may just want the AP and could build into an Abyssal later, but you're right, with the Amp Tome, it's kind of curious. I mean, super fast Void stuff could also be a thing, but I think your money might be right on Rylai's there, Papa, so we'll have to see. But not too sure. I mean, I think either way, he's happy with a big chunk of extra AP here, and Oriana without blue especially is just not having fun at all.
Down bottom lane, Riolo is actually out-leveling Shen, of course, because Shen did use the Stand United. But Ryze is not bossing around Shen in the manner you'd expect in this match.
Oh, goodness. Liquid Cheese going deep there into Trash Break. Flashes forward for a bit of auto damage, I think, once the Moonsilver Blade, and tanks just enough turret hits there with 1 more left to kill him, and walks very quietly out of that one. So Nasus, unfortunately, not ready to get in there, but that one in Liquid Cheese. 3-0 now on Diana. I mean, Diana is definitely a champion that can run the snowball.
And things have escalated quickly in the mid lane pastry time. We were just talking about Oriana abusing her passive to harass Diana. Now it doesn't seem like she can even lane heads up against Diana.
No, and now Diana's going to go back and finish up nothing, apparently, just by a ward. You know, it does need health, so smart to go back here. He's down the bottom. I think we were having Intrepid. Going a little man mode there into Riolo. I mean, the good news for Shen is that things do get better as they go on. He's got a cloth armor here, which isn't too useful, but that Giant Spelt health definitely helps him out here against Ryze. And it seems like he's been able to CS reasonably well. He's about 10 behind, which he's not happy about. But, you know, he's just CSing here, trying to freeze this lane a little, try and, you know, keep Riolu scared. And, you know, Ryze here kind of low on mana, doesn't really want to fight Shen too much right now.
He doesn't have access to that blue buff, and he will have to use his mana to last hit a turret. So it's one of those cases where at this present point, Intrepid's very happy in the lane because not too much harass is going to come through.
Yeah, that's potentially one of the problems with this comp as well, is both Ryze and Orianna would really like blue buff if they can get it. And Blurry here actually has the blue himself. He's going to set up with his gank on Liquid Cheese. Trashbot looking for the bait that Liquid Cheese spots it off though. Maybe waited a little too early, then rub up now. Maybe looking for Cataclysm. Does he want to dive? Doesn't want to, it looks like here. And just a wither there from Nasus on Liquid Cheese. And very nice timing again from Javan, making sure that Diana is okay here in this mid lane.
Down bottom lane, poor Riolu here, no mana whatsoever. Using his mana to harass, but just missing last hits as a result.
Yeah, and I mean, Ryze, he last hits okay at turret, but definitely someone, if you push him in a lot and push him in early, here is Liquid Cheese, again, just harassing now into Trash. But, you know, you push Ryze in early, is down the bottom, I think we have problems. Vayne actually in the top lane there, that's where it's a teleport coming in as well. Vayne quite low, but there's the heal from Shazam coming in. Cocaine, trying to get it done. Intrepid misses the taunt as he comes in, no one teleport, and that is not good news here. Shazam going to get room prisoned up as well, but forced to flash out of the way to save herself. And everybody kind of low here in the top lane. No, not much health on Janna, not too much on Vayne or Twitch either. And again, those teleports used. No stand. Actually, Stench was used as well by Intrepid. I thought he teleported. I guess he stood in there and was able to teleport there with his ultimate. But that's going to give Nasus room to push down the bottom. I mean, Ryze had to teleport as well, so they're kind of splitting the lane in terms of CS they're losing. But very, very interesting to see no kills there in the top lane. But I guess that's what happened when it was all teleports all the time.
Yeah, it looks like the lane swap is on here as we see Vayne and Janna heading towards bot lane. And obviously, having two members down bot gives them more dragon control, so it's a good move. And Intrepid can just sit top. He has Summoner Teleport available. A 5-minute cooldown for Ryze to have that spell up. Daizy Parade are happy.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Intrepid, he's probably going to take quite a bit of damage here from Twitch, but Twitch, who also has, almost has a Bloodthirster, sorry, there to see Vampiric Scepter plus BF Sword now on Twitch, so likely the BT coming up for him. But, you know, Intrepid is going to work towards a Sunfire Cape, probably going to get a Chain Vest if he can't afford it now. And, you know, with the Giant Spell, he's probably going to be reasonably safe here up against Twitch plus Zyrian. As long as he doesn't die, he's fine.
All he needs to do is occupy the two people up top because it should be a free dragon, other things being equal.
Yeah, and Daizy Parade very intelligent in knowing with two champions top, and Intrepid with his teleport Ryze without, of course, going to try and take this dragon away. I mean, 3 members here. Diana actually, I think, waiting to camp Trash, but who knows as well. Actually, 2 levels behind, and there's the all-in as well. The dragon comes in for Javan as he picks that one up. Diana can't quite pick up that kill, but I mean, Trash just doesn't want to go anywhere near this champion at all.
Now, a lot of damage coming out of this Twitch here. Obviously, most of his parts of a Bloodthirst or potentially an Infinity Edge with some lifesteal. The auto trades are very, very painful for Intrepid. Yeah,
Intrepid kind of just has to mash Feint, which he looks like he might be maxing second here as well. Just hope for the best. I mean, he doesn't quite have the wave clear here either, so maybe it was a little too zealous to send them now, but the swap over did give them the dragon, which was nice there, and of course, mid lane's rotating up here as well. There's Liquid Cheese. This is exactly what he wants to do. Intrepid going in those on blue 9-0. I think he knows what's up. Diana come forward there. Can't see the Twitch, so he's invisible right now. Cocaine, though, going to get pulled back in there by that E, and that's a kill there for Liquid Cheese. 4-0 now on Diana as Blurry 90 rotates up as well. Twitch cannot come back into this fight, although a good with there. Maybe he's going to look for it now. The Zyra passive procs as well. Nice bit of damage coming through there. But everyone's going to walk away here and not too much health. Ryze down the bottom. Just going to try and get the farm where he can. And everybody else is going to back away slowly, it looks like, as Shazam's guys, hey guys, maybe stay and help me defend here because I'm only a Janna. I can't do too much here. And, you know, Twitch is staying his last stall up. A good old there from Orianna. Monsoon out there from Shazam as well. Liquid Cheese wants to get it. The teleport coming through for Shan as well. Intrepid does have the taunt, but he just misses there onto Blurry 90. And I think that's going to be the end of this one here. They'd love to get some more kills. Never mind, Liquid Cheese goes in there, but Blue 90 has his flash, able to get out of the way of that one. And Ryze down the bottom, you know, maybe even going to get this turret. He's got a decent mini wave pushing in now as well. And Riolu is definitely happy for the space here, but I think Twitch is happy that he's not dead right now because that was very close there as Vayne pushes in the mid.
And that was a hero mini stun from the Monsoon on Janna there. The mini stun stopped the combination of the QR coming out from Orianna, and then of course she was displaced and couldn't follow up on the kill. So kept Rebub alive there. Very, very nice Janna mechanics.
And Rebub now going to come down as well. Going to defend this turret. Vayne there coming through as well. Riola's like, oh goodness, I have to flash now. Get a Rune Prison up. The damage coming through as well. They may tower dive here, but Javan looks like he doesn't want to quite do it yet. Although Cataclysm was up. I think his E or Q might have been on cooldown there. So Riola's going to get away with that one as Nepthesis comes down there to the bottom to just clear out some of this. And it seems like they really don't want to be wherever Twitch is now. And kind of makes sense given that he does have a BT finished up already. But just the question is, can Shen actually shake it off now? And does have Sunfire, so maybe that's a thing he can do now and 1v2 a little more comfortably.
Yeah, Neptheus there had a really awkward encounter where he tried to condemn Shen into the wall, sorry, Ryze into the wall, but couldn't get it, and then of course was juked by not having vision of that brush. So the first auto attack came out when Ryze was about 600 units from turret, so no ability to close down and get the kill there.
Yeah, Liquid Cheese going to pick up blue buff now as well. Did finish that Abyssal that you expected there, Papa, so has an amp turn for something else later, and are rotating towards top lane as well. Knows that this kind of squishy Twitch, in fact, going to have to ambush out of the way. He does go invisible, and I don't think they're going to be able to chase you. In fact, he may just look for the 1v2 Cocaine. Going to miss the roots in there as well. I think Liquid Cheese just waiting for the Twitch. Wants to go in here, activates his W, looks for the Q, finds it onto Cocaine. The damage comes out. Good Exhausto and the Stranglethorn's in there as well. But there's the Stand United on top of the Diana. And so scary right now as the Ignite picks that one up. Intrepid just missing his taunt. But here comes the rest of it. Trashbot and Blue 90 in there as well. Liquid Cheese could be in trouble, who I think he's going to get himself up. And there it is, the shutdown for Twitch as he picks up the bonus gold. And there's the slow as well from Venom Cast. The distance is not quite happening, but plenty of damage left over with the Wither in there as well. And that's a very nice rotation there from FIGJAM, going to get themselves 2 very much needed kills.
And that time FIGJAM had the positioning advantage. Nasus rode in at right just exact the time. They probably will have an answering turret coming here. Imagine a turret trade coming out bottom top.
Yeah, 2-1 in turrets right now. Looks like 3-1 quickly here as FIGJAM take a bit of their early lead here and are able to get the 3 outer turrets nice and quickly here. But that top tower is definitely good news here for the for the FIGJAM boys. Of course, Daizy Parade, the one currently up 3-1 on turrets, and you know, had a kind of an interesting start here, the double teleport to kick things off in the top lane. Vayne Janna, though, have definitely kind of navigated the more awkward phase here. Vayne's probably got a Blade of the Ruin King up now as well. And even though Blue 90 is doing nicely here, the CS up for Vayne here. The gold, actually, as we're going to take a quick look here, yeah, very even, actually, about 5,600 apiece.
But it's mid lane where the big discrepancy, about 2,100 gold difference here. Liquid Cheese is absolutely massive. He's stacked already on Diana.
He is indeed very, very big. He's got the Haunting Guys now, which is actually what the Amplifying Tome was for. So it's got all the penetration now. Very scary Diana. The Sork Shoes coming out as well, most likely following next. And that's going to be lots and lots of true damage. In fact, we click on the Twitch here, we can see he only has 45 magic resist, which is not very many.
So there's been one pickup this game that I think is almost incredible. If we look over to Nasus here, we actually have a Spirit of the Elder Lizard Nasus. Now Nasus, he has an AD ratio on his Q and no other AD ratios. It will increase the damage in fights, but he's against a 5-1 Diana who does AoE damage. I'm not really sure how he's going to be able to use that in team fights. I just feel like the tankiness from Spirit of the Ancient Golem probably would have offered him a bit more.
Yeah, I honestly think that's just kind of the Blue 90 special. I did say he was an aggressive jungler, and he seems to love to build the item on whoever he can get. I mean, it's not too bad. I mean, you know, you can apply with plenty of your spells, but I think you're right, especially given that Diana's doing so well. You really just want to prioritize that Runic Bulwark as fast as you possibly can.
Just an interesting adaptation. And look, if he's able to get ganks off, and if he's able to snowball from it, it's fine. It does give him cooldown reduction as well, which opens up more use of his Wither and his Spirit Fire, but very, very aggressive from Blurry, which, as you say, does seem to be his calling card.
It does here, and Shen actually has an Emblem of Valor in his inventory as we go through this pause here, just checking out a couple of the items. Obviously, the Sunfire Cape, very important here on Shen, going to help him be the split pusher and, you know, definitely fight against that 1v2. Although the lanes are kind of broken up at this point, so he's not as worried about the Twitch damage, but he might actually be the one building the Aegis here, which would be interesting. And I guess Jarvan, Spirit of the Ancient Golem already up for him. I guess we'll find out now if Robob's going to go do a bit of shopping, but trying to figure out what other items Intrepid might want to build out here.
I think it's almost certainly going to be the Aegis, and I say that even before we see the Brutalizer coming out from Jarvan. It's a very aggressive choice from Robob. I think that the reason why they're doing that here is that Shen obviously needs the magic resist, and you could have said, well, what about Wit's End? And Wit's End is a very, very strong choice here to help him dual rise, but they're against a double AP comp here, so to get himself cost-effective magic resist and also buff up his team, he's going to get the Bulwark at a much faster time than Jarvan. Jarvan doesn't have access to the same amount of CS. I mean, Shen, of all champions in the game, fantastic at split pushing, you know, occupying any lane he wants when he has that Stand United cooldown up. So they want a fast Bulwark. Shen's going to be the man to get it for them.
Yeah, and smart play here. Looks like Blue 90 actually get Dovan hit. Liquid Cheese doing a lot of damage here on Diana. Good ult there from Oriana. They're coming through. The Grasping Roots in there as well. Robo over the top there with a Cataclysm tries to get it done, and Nasus is already dead as Zara picks up the kill there onto Diana. The chase comes into the double kill actually there for Cocaine, and Vayne not quite there, unfortunately. They were grouping up for Dragon without the Shen ult because, of course, you want to keep Shen with your team when he's not available, but looks like he might just be able to get out here as well. Going to get chased down there. A little bit of a slow, but a very big win there. 2-for-1 trade, taking out Diana yet again. Unfortunately, the killing spree goal was already given away, but they're very happy to try and keep that Diana under wraps.
And while Diana's massive, you have to remember here we do have a 3-0-3 now, Twitch. And Twitch was free hitting behind that terrain there. Very, very hard for anyone to get on top of him. Obviously, with the huge range on his ultimate, was able to get massive hits there. Took down Diana with the initial bolts. Everyone else lowered from the rest of the spray and pray, I mean, that's Blue 9-0 understanding the terrain and really taking it to his advantage.
Yeah, and now Dragon probably going to get done here as well by FIGJAM. And Daizy Parade, as I said, they were doing the right thing, staying together, but Vayne spent a little too long there down the bottom just trying to clean up a bit of excess farm. Intrepid here going to look for the taunt. He might go for it there. Jarvan going in as well, trying to pick it up. In fact, he's a little caught out now, forced to flash over the top as well. So attempted steal there from Robo goes quickly awry.
Patriot time though, Jarvan has a smite on call.
Oh, here comes Vayne. He wants to go in there. They're trying to get in there. Robo in there as well into Trash Boat. They really want to get the initiation done. Liquid Cheese in there as well. Picks up 2, and that's a great answer here for Daizy Parade. Blue 90 likely going to fall in here as well. Just a little bit more. There's the double actually for Diana as the Q tags Nasus as he leaves, and 3 for 1. Not the Dragon, but pretty even between the two teams as the dust settles.
And that time Spray and Pray was about 3 seconds off cooldown pastry time, and Twitch had nowhere near the same impact as he did in the previous skirmish.
Yeah, Liquid Trees returning with the Sorceries in there as well. And I think you mentioned that Rubub didn't have Smite going in
No,
there.
he actually used Smite on the Dragon. That was basically 1 second window for Smite.
Stanchion out of interior. Rubub going in there. So great Cataclysm combo and so much damage being dealt. Blue 90 now getting chased down as well. Activate Spray and Pro there to get them off. That's really smart play there from Blue 90. They're going to try to take out this tier 2 turret now as well. Everybody else coming back as well. The Daizy Parade going to have to be very careful here, but this is a really, really close game. I mean, Daizy Parade, I have a slight lead here with about 3,500 gold ahead, but very back and forth here between these two teams, trying to maintain these objectives and maintain their farm.
And Diana's death there proves that they can never choose a fight where Twitch will be able to free hit. It's much the same as if you're facing Rumble and the Equalizer. If you ever fight in the line in the jungle and can't get any hits off on Twitch or get on top of him, he will do massive, massive damage.
And here it comes. This isn't quite desperation, but very sneaky here. Looks like Ryze does not have his teleport, by the way, so this is 4-man Baron here. Johnny going to get it. Intrepid in here as well. Knows what's up. Good double taunt. They picks up Blue 90. They've got to try and kill him. No, good strangle taunt from Zyra as Vayne tumbles out. Intrepid here taking a little bit too much damage, but he's just trying to buy time for his team. Jarvan coming through as well. Now Liquid Cheese is in as well, and this is going to be the chase down for Vayne. Blue 90 completely shut down there as Vayne picks that one up. And that was a sneaky attempt at Baron there from FIGJAM, but Daizy Parade sniffed that one out nicely and get 1 clean kill and get them off Baron.
Yeah, the pink ward was teleported to there. The advantages of having good warding, it was a good idea. I mean, they do have Nasus who burns down that Baron, but couldn't pick it up.
And Vayne now just going to push out these waves again. Daizy Parade, pretty comfortable with the few thousand gold lead they have here, and especially given that, Vayne has kind of navigated the awkward part of her landing. Diana is still very, very scary as well, as Liquid Cheese completely decimates these waves. I mean, we did tell you that Daizy Parade like to run split push. They've got, a decent amount of team fight in here as well. They can protect their Vayne, reasonably well, but they have really, really good wave clear as well between Diana, the Shen, who's definitely building for a bit of split push, and of course Vayne as well.
It's the way I look at this game now is almost a Diana versus Twitch matchup, just because Diana tried to jive Twitch at that previous skirmish, Twitch obliterated her. But at this point, you can see very, very close to the Zhonya's pickup, which I think almost gives Liquid Cheese a couple of choices or a couple of options when it comes to diving onto that AD carry. I think that item being picked up is kind of a part-time where Daizy Parade team fights just level up that much further. And
I actually thought Nepothesis was going to go for Static Shift there to maybe help the push, was actually going straight up Phantom Dancer instead, so going to try and get a little bit more damage and get more value out of that item, and of course the eventual Infinity Edge will be much better as well with that one here. Twitch on the other hand got himself a Zeal, but stopped there, gone for a pickaxe, so possibly a fast Last Whisper or maybe an Infinity Edge here to just really jack up that damage. Twitch does get a bit of bonus attack speed from Ambush, so I can kind of see that there as well, but I think Blue 90 are definitely playing to be a very powerful carry for his team as early as he possibly can.
And I guess the lack of critical strikes is the only problem there, just because of course Spray and Pray does apply those critical strikes, and when it's doing reduced damage at the end of its cast, you're still critting on that, so it goes from maybe the 40% damage to 80% damage. The Last Whisper is important to do damage to the people at the front. The Shen, for example, a very, very tanky man.
3-man gang squad here as well. Riolu going to get caught here. Liquid Cheese straight on there. There's a knock-up as well. Another knock-up there as Howling Gale comes through. And very effective use of that there. Shazam with the Oracles as well, able to clear out all that vision. Looks like this tier 2 turret's going to be the next target here for Daizy Parade.
Yeah, NASA split pushing in the top, so they know they don't have that threat to deal with here. A maximum of 3 members that could react. Easy turret.
Yeah, and Shen's in the mid now as well, pushing that up. Kind of looks like he maybe wants to rotate up, but he does have his ultimate if anything does go wrong. And NASA's, of course, forced to recall now as well. Realize that, hey, I'm going to push this one wave, and my team kind of needs me at this point with 10 seconds left on Ryze. So pretty much a free tier 2 turret there for Daizy Parade. And really, the kills, definitely racking up now, but one of the biggest metrics in this game is those turrets. 5-2 now in terms of that scoreline.
And that's obviously what NASA's was trying to equalize. He did pick up that top turret there, but not being with his team takes away a lot of their team fight presence. He has to be grouped here, but this game does feel like it's slipping away from FIGJAM as the minutes tick on.
Yeah, I mean, Nasus, you know, kind of the tankier for his team, actually. I mean, that is it. They've got double AP, they've got great AoE, you know, they've got the Zyra there as well to follow up, but Nasus is kind of the guy that, you know, tanks a lot of the damage and has to be the sponge. And at this point, with the Spirit of the Elder Lizard, with I guess he's building an Aegis now, as we do see a very cute Baron bait come out here. This is nice. This is definitely setting up a tent. Oh, Cocaine, I think he might be dead here. There's the jump over for Liquid Cheese. And goodbye, Zyra. Actually, ults there, so that might be enough. The double knockup coming out as well. The Zyra passive through there, but Rub-Up turns around. Stand United on top in there as well. And now Vayne's going to try and clamp down around the back as well, but gets dropped pretty quickly there. The damage there comes out. Monsoon there resets Vayne, who is at half health there. Orianna goes down there. Looks like Liquid Cheese fell as well to that Nasus, but they are going to chase in here. Vayne is still alive. Blue Nine is going to go down. Oh, no, not quite. Never mind. Shazam, though. Flash the sword for the Zephyr to pick it up. Howlingale should be back up here. Going to be able to get Riolu, who does flash out of the way as a result. Now Blue 9-0 going to ambush his way out there with the bonus movement speed. A 3-for-2 trade, probably not what Daizy Pro had wanted exactly there, but, you know, they'll take it there, and that was a very, very cute bait at Baron for them.
And crucially, one of the people that fell down was the Jarvan. There's no smite available, so they won't chance the Baron here.
Yeah, I mean, they have decent Baron damage here with this Vayne. Shen could probably tank it up as well, but you're right, it is a little too risky without smite, especially given that the death timers aren't super massive here at the 25-minute mark. So, smart play there. No objectives, unfortunately, able to get forced out there, but a decent fight. I think, again, I like the idea of the bait. I respect it. I think it was, you know, cute was what I called it. I think that's exactly what it was. But unfortunately, it didn't quite work the way they wanted it to there. And, you know, Vayne had the right idea going around and trying to flank them. But Riolu, you know, even kind of being held here with just a Tear of the Goddess and Rod of Ages right now, he's pretty scary 1v1 against Vayne.
The interesting thing about this game is you can't discount FIGJAM's damage, because even though they're behind this game, they've spent all their money on damage. We see, for example, a Haunting Guise come out from Zyra here. Not a Sightstone, but just a Haunting Guise. Obviously, we talked about Nasus shooting that Spirit, the Elder Lizard there. They definitely don't have an Aegis. You know, they're nowhere near an Aegis here, for example. So Diana is the person who's going to be able to come here and kind of steamroll the enemy team. But if they can deal with her, they do have the damage in an extended fight to go toe-to-toe with Daizy Parade.
Yeah, I mean, Nasus does have a Locket, which will help kind of his team a little. It's not quite as good as Bulwark here, which we do see finished up on Shen. But
oh, the Zhonya's Hourglass finished on just right then on Liquid Cheese. Twitch's life is just about to go into a whole new type of hell.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it yesterday. You can dodge Stranglethorns entirely through that stasis there on Zhonya's, and, you know, Twitch is going to get jumped and chunked down. If they turn around onto Liquid Cheese, of course, he's going to just go into that stasis. And, you know, Diana, who is already doing very well in this game with those 3 magic penetration items, is going to be even harder to pin down here. Big boost of AP there as well with the needlessly large right in that recipe, and, of course, the Zhonya stasis there as well, plus the armor to make Twitch's life, you know, as you said, not particularly exciting for him. So, I mean, as you said, it kind of felt like a Twitch vs Diana game. I think Diana's winning right now in items.
Yeah, look, she's looking very, very scary, and I don't know if they'll have an answer to her in the next fight with the aforementioned lack of a Bulwark, let alone an Aegis, sorry, let alone a Bulwark.
Yep, and I'm very curious to see what Daizy Parade wants to do here. They clearly have a lead. You can see the gold is 6,000 up right now. 5-2 in turrets, 16-8 in kills for Daizy Parade. So they've carved a nice little lead out for themselves here as we approach the 27-minute mark. Intrepid's teleports back up. His ult's going to be back up soon. He's not quite level 16, but, you know, Central United's still doing pretty well. He'd probably prefer to be 16 before he starts split pushing again, because when you rank up that ultimate, you get absolutely massive, massive amounts of shield added onto that. So he might try it here, but I think they're all staying together here, which is kind of interesting, because they do have that split push power if they want it.
Absolutely, the 300 health that you get. I mean, Shen's shield strength just scales so insanely with levels. That's kind of the final piece of the puzzle for this team comp, I think, is getting that level 16 Shen. But look, now that the cooldown's up, he's happy to go free farm, I imagine.
And unfortunately, Shazam's Oracles is timed out now, so no more Oracles for Janna. I mean, they're kind of confident they've cleared out most of the wards at this point. They're actually going to push down the bottom side here.
Noticed that Nasus was out of position against. They're trying something here.
Yeah, Intrepid back towards the mid. He does have his ulti. Going to get some more experience there as the creeps come in. So, you know, very smartly staying as 4-1 here. Shen, he can always come into the fight if he needs to. He's got 2 different globals to get in the mix there with either teleport or his ultimate. And, you know, Daizy Parade, they have to be careful here. You know, they've got a nice lead, but they can't be too reckless with it. Looks like they're going to send Intrepid down the bottom lane to try and deal damage to this inhibitor turret, which is taking a little bit of damage now. And, I see. It's going to be the Baron bait time, but no Oracles makes this a little bit dangerous.
Yeah, we can see very clearly it's warded here now. And here comes the decision. Now, Ryze's teleport is up.
That's a lot of Baron damage, by the way. Stranglethorns is going to come over the top. They're actually going to finish it here, and that's really good news. Orianna coming through as well, but there's a Stand United. Blue United trying to get in, but Vayne there tumbles away and completely cuts it. Nasus Shazam gets dropped, and they're not too worried about that as Riolu gets absolutely insta-pop there. The Diana damage ridiculous as the AoE comes through there as well, and Trashback going to get cleaned up here. The triple kill for Vayne, a double kill there for Diana, and those dual damage deals for Daizy Parade completely wipe the floor with FIGJAM.
And for all the damage potential of their offensive items, the lack of bulwark is just getting completely destroyed by this Liquid Cheese here. 12-3-7. 2 target bans, didn't seem to care too much.
And we are done there. It's 21-9 there, the final kill score, 5-2 in turrets. Almost 10k ahead there at the end as well. And Daizy Parade are going to take game 1 there against FIGJAM. And that was, honestly, that was way more one-sided than I thought it was going to be.
And just a dominant performance from Liquid Cheese. You know, he's actually traditionally been known in the Australian scene as kind of a two-note player. You know, he had his Swain that was seen as the only competitive tier player. He proved that his Anivia was right up there, but this game we got to see is Diana for the first time, and that seems pretty good.
Yeah, and we saw two bans aimed at Cheese last game. Are they going to go for a third and see what his 4th champion is? I mean, maybe, but you know, you're kind of running out of bans pretty quickly there when you're targeting all on one player. And I mean, Liquid Cheese, his Swain is scary. We've seen his Anivia, it's pretty good, but that was just ridiculous Diana play.
And I guess, do you just give them the Anivia now, you know, and just stick with the Swain and Diana bans? I mean, I don't have the answer to that question, but a lot of questions posed to FIGJAM here. They have a lot of things to think about. It just didn't come together for them that game. But they're still in the series.
They are, and they will go back to the drawing board here. Game 2 is coming up very soon here. It's going to be Daizy Parade up against FIGJAM. FIGJAM now down 0-1 here in this best of 3. And of course, this is potentially their last game here. If Daizy Parade can make it through, continue their amazing run here and a great story here through this tournament, they will be the 4th and final team through to the PAX offline final there for the Oceanic Championship. We'll be back here for Game 2. We'll see if Daizy Parade can take it 2-0 or if we're finally going to get a Game 3 here tonight with FIGJAM taking it 1-1.